Oh, so you know when you're copying with Halloween candy, okay? They give you it. You go if apples are delicious, okay? But if you give me an apple for Halloween, like what the hell is wrong with you? This is the day for candy. I don't want it. And then second of all, Whoppers are always the bottom of the bag. You have so many better candy, and then you have Whopper, which is like, some people like it. It's their favorite candy. But other time, Whoppers are just like one of those things you eat when there's nothing else to eat. So there's always like an enormous pile of Whoppers by the time you get to the bottom of your pumpkin. And they mix the fruit. They keep doing this. They mix the fruit and the chocolate candies. Chocolate is better. You cannot mix the fruit and the chocolate. If you put them into the same plastic bag, the flavor leaks in. You get strawberry flavored Hershey's, which, you might think, oh, that might sound good, but it's not just strawberry. It's a bunch of stuff. You get all the flavor of Skittle and Starburst mixed in with chocolate flavor, good Mr. Goodbar, and then now it doesn't taste like it should. You have to separate them out. It's like when you separate the light and the dark. When you separate, you don't want to get the red sock in there. It's just strawberry bonbon. You know the strawberry things that everyone calls the strawberry things? They're called strawberry bonbons, as it turned out. I'm a certain age, and I didn't find it out until literally today. But bear in mind, Heath chocolate is on a tier above Hershey's chocolate. Hershey, oldest chocolate bar, but it doesn't taste as good. It's just plain old chocolate. Why would you eat regular plain old chocolate when you have options of candy like to be eating the coconut flavors? Almond Joys, Mounds, those two kinds, plus Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. And then the white Reese's Peanut Butter Cup
the Mounds
are really good because they taste like Reese's Puff cereal.
Is this one of those ones I'm supposed to interrupt you at some point?
I figured you would.
I mean, yeah.
I was just gonna. I was wrapping up pretty soon, anyways.
Oh well, you can finish if you want.
The bottom line, I just like chocolate better. Okay, and don't give me an apple.
So wait, are you?
It's not.
So are you quoting something, or are you just like actually ad-libbing this?
Dude, what do you?
At first, you put on like almost like a stereotypical voice. I'm not gonna say what kind of voice. It was a very specific voice, but
I'm very curious what voice you think that was.
Okay, it was like okay. You ever seen a Roland Emmerich movie?
I have no idea.
You ever seen a Roland Emmerich movie?
Who?
Roland Emmerich. He's like a director.
I know he's a guy. I don't know what he does.
Okay, well, he makes movies, and in all his movies, he puts a stereotypical Jewish dad that talks just like that.
That wasn't anything close to Jewish.
Go look up the guy from Independence Day, Jeff Goldblum's character's father.
I know what he sounds. I know what that guy sounds.
You slipped into his voice. Jewish. You slipped into his voice briefly.
Oh.
But yeah,
I was just talking. I was just ranting about candy.
Yeah, I know, but you started to take on that voice, so it made me question if you were like actually quoting something. But then, like the opinions you were giving very closely sounded like your own opinions. But I don't agree with like things leaking into. I've never had a candy leak into a different bag before.
No, it's not the flavor. If it's through osmosis principles.
How long do you have to
put chocolate? If it's when you buy those big prepackaged bags at the store where they have a mix of chocolate and fruit-based candies, the chocolate takes on the flavor of the fruit-based candy.
I have never had that issue before, but
that's always how.
I don't know.
It happens every year.
I mean, I guess
you want to buy a separate bag of chocolate and a separate bag of fruit, except leave the fruit out because chocolate is just better.
I mean, I did a mixture of both. We, this Halloween, we actually had our first year of trick-or-treaters, or last Halloween. It was first year I had trick-or-treaters. We did like 2 bags of chocolate, 1 bag of fruit, and I mean, the fruit got picked through pretty thoroughly. I think kids like the fruity flavors.
Because there was only 1 bag.
No,
I mean, like, you ran out.
No, I mean, I watched what kids took. A surprising number picked the fruit over the chocolate. There was a ton of chocolate left at the end.
Give me the chocolate all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't even.
I was perfectly happy with that.
Just give me a bag of Heath.
Oh, I love
Give me a bag of Heath. I'd be fine. Or a bag of Butterfinger. Sometimes they make these bags where it's like 4 different kinds of Butterfingers. Give me that.
I've only ever had the normal Butterfingers. I will say my favorite candy of all time is probably Reese's for me. Just plain old Reese's. I love them.
My favorite candy of all time. Cadbury Cream Egg.
Those are all right. The cream is a little too rich for me.
I love it.
Yeah, I get kind of sick of the cream. Yeah, my wife actually found those, what are they, Cadbury, or no, it was Kinder. Never mind, it was Kinder, not Cadbury, but it was a Kinder Regal bar, I think is what they were called.
Yes.
We went to like a World Market store that has like international candy, and we got like a pack of like, I think they're Kinder Regals, but they're basically like Kinder bars, like chocolate bars filled with like the cream, but it's like the same kind of cream that's inside of a Cadbury egg.
What?
What?
You didn't bring me any?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'll get you one next
You
time I'm there.
found a Cadbury bar and you didn't think to get one for me?
Well, that was the thing. Is like after we left the store, I remembered back to a few years ago when I went to Canada and I asked you if you like you told me when you heard I was going to Canada, you asked me to look for a Cadbury bar, and it was actually just yesterday when I tried one of the bars for the first time. My wife was eating one, and she let me take like a bite of it because I wanted to try it, and like it tasted like that, and it reminded me, it's like, wait a minute, didn't you ask me to, is this what you were asking me to find in Canada all those years ago? Maybe it was a Kinder bar that you were looking for and you just thought it was Cadbury.
Well, I know that there actually is a Cadbury cream bar, but if the Kinder bar tastes the same, then functionally, yes.
I mean, to me it does, but I haven't eaten a Cadbury cream egg in a while, so I could be wrong on that. I don't know. Either way, I'll get you a package next time I'm at the place.
Yes.
Which I should be in that same area in a couple weeks. Well, yeah.
I owe ya.
I'll keep an eye out. I don't remember. They weren't that expensive. Either way,
Send a money order?
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Venmo,
I guess. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
PayPal?
I'm willing to buy you a candy bar. Either way.
What's your social security number and credit card so I can send it over?
Okay, let me just recite them loudly into the microphone. I'm not actually going to do that. What was I
thought
talking?
we were setting up for a gag where we dub it over with a really inconspicuous soundbite.
I mean, I could still go back and do that since.
No, the moment's gone. It's dead.
Okay.
All right. So before we officially start, I have two things to share with the podcast.
Oh yeah.
One of which you haven't heard, but one of which you heard off mic.
What's the one I heard off mic? Let's start with that one.
The one about that one comment I found on a video that was really pretentious about movies.
Oh yeah, the one about worst movies ever or whatever.
Yeah, we talked about that one. I just wanted to share it here because it's stupid. So here's the context. There was a Cinemassacre video where he was talking about like what's the worst movie ever, and he came to the conclusion that the worst movie ever would have to be something that was unenjoyable and not like hilarious. And he basically ended up on a French art film or something where they just stare at a wall. I think it's called Wavelength.
Yeah.
It just stares at a wall and zooms in or whatever. And so it's like, okay, yes, obviously, like this is barely a movie. But then one of the guys in the comments, so it's like, okay, we're asking what the worst movie is. So it's like, there has to be a movie that's like bad. It's not even like it's so incompetent that it's not even funny. It's just like painful. That it's that kind of movie. But then this Weisenheimer comes along, and I'm going to read you this comment verbatim because I think they entirely missed the point of the question.
Is the comment still up on the video? Because like I watched that video and I went and looked and that comment wasn't there anymore. At least not that I could find.
Well, it might have just moved down the list the longer the video's out. I
mean, it could have just gotten removed too, because I
don't know,
could have gotten bullied into deleting it.
By who?
People.
No one.
Anybody? I don't know.
Well, anyways, I'm still gonna. Well, it's a stupid take, so I'm still gonna read it.
No, it is a stupid take.
The idea of worst movie implicitly asks, in quotes, what makes a movie, or to be more general, any kind of art, the worst? Personally, the idea of a worst piece of art would be one that goes against the intended purpose of art. It would have to be something that refuses to present a genuine idea or purpose. Wavelength, as irritable as it is clearly purposeful and trying to provoke a stimulation. Meanwhile, something that is unable to present anything genuine or noteworthy is ultimately meaningless and frustrating beyond compare. However, such a film of such nature, I feel, if it does exist, would have to be accidentally made because when one makes, they pretty much have to make a statement no matter what. No matter one, even if it's accidental. So in that sense, the idea of there being a worst movie seems virtually impossible because it would just be too inorganic to be feasibly achievable, and both of these words are misspelled. You could probably cite a few examples that come close, but what I'm trying to say here is that the worst film would be literally nothing.
So,
whoosh, anyone?
I would... It's almost like
friggin'.
I feel like I know he probably wasn't, but I almost feel like he could have been like trying to be satirical in making that. Like it sounds so much like just someone trying to be intentionally pretentious and stupid that like
I don't think it's satirical.
Yeah, I think he might be genuine. I really don't know. But yeah, either way, it's like
Come on.
It's like, where'd you get that art degree, 12-year-old?
Well, it's not even that. It's just like the worst movie would be no movie. It's like, well, then that wouldn't be a movie, would it?
It's like, what's that's ultimately what it is. It's like, what's even the point of making this comment? Because if your conclusion is that the ultimate movie isn't a movie at all, it's like, what are you at? You're not even saying anything. You just crammed a bunch of big words into a sentence and then tried to act like it meant something.
Yeah. He's like when your teacher asks you to write about the symbolism in friggin'
Lord
that one
Flies.
book. That one. It's
Yeah.
like reading an essay about that.
Yeah. No, it's like, which, that the book wasn't that bad. Like, I mean, a lot of people love that book. I thought it was fine, but I think the fact that my English teacher made us like dissect the book like a frog just kind of killed any possible enjoyment I could have gotten out of it.
Okay. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I just don't think it's very profound or saying anything particularly interesting like everyone likes to act like.
Exactly.
There were too many likes in that sentence.
Well, yeah, I guess that's what I mean. Is like, was the author trying to make some kind of big statement when he wrote the book, or was he just trying to write an entertaining story with some themes?
No, it was supposed to be a statement about how people suck and war is bad or something, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that was obviously the theme of the book, but like, was his ultimate goal in like, was he just trying to write a story to convey that theme, or was he just trying to write a story that was entertaining that just had that as its central theme?
Well, I think he was trying to convey a theme and also make it entertaining. I just think everyone else takes the theme way too seriously. Yeah, it's like the message is people suck, and it's like, yeah, we knew that already. We didn't need to read a book to figure it out.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm getting at. Is it's like the theme itself isn't bad, but like people try to elevate it to, like, at least my English teacher tried to elevate it to such a level that it like it made it, it hurt my experience in the long run, because it's like you said, the theme is not as deep as they try to make it seem. The book's fine,
Human
though.
Bad. Human bad.
Yeah, human is bad.
Man is bad, and everyone's gonna kill each other in World War III or something. That great. What a profound statement. Now, to move on from that, I have a second comment that I found. You'll appreciate this one. You know BioShock Infinite, yes?
I would say so, yeah.
We've both played that game. We both agree it's pretty fantastic.
Do I need to put the spoiler tag up for this?
No. You don't need to put the spoiler tag here, because this comment, like the last one, doesn't really say anything. Okay. It basically boils down to, I don't like BioShock Infinite, but they do it in like the most roundabout nonsense way.
Yeah.
So right. I found this. Oh, and for context, for some reason, I found this on a Reddit post that was about. I was trying to figure out why the it was all a dream ending bothers people so much, because of like it's all fiction anyways. But anyways, that's a separate discussion. This comment came in here somewhere, even though BioShock does not involve that twist. So I don't know why it was there anyways. But anyways, here's what they said. Be Infinite didn't become pointless because of its ending. It was pointless from the beginning. There's probably no ending you can make that would recontextualize Be Infinite into having a point. The problem with Be Infinite is that it doesn't argue anything, and it doesn't really believe anything, parentheses, if you're charitable. Otherwise, you have to conclude that it's making phenomenally stupid arguments. It evokes a lot of things to seem like it's talking about them, but it doesn't really have anything to say about the things it evokes. This consequently makes the story pointless. While events follow logically from one another, parentheses, in diegetic plot-focused sense, they don't flow thematically. The game doesn't have a story and becomes just things that didn't happen to people who don't exist. As always, I will say I would love to see a reading that makes Be Infinite thematically cohesive, but as of yet, I haven't found one, and I've been unable to create one myself. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think he got it. I don't know what game he played, because... Yeah, no, like you said, it was all a dream is not any part of that game. I guess I kind of see what he might be getting at, but he's wrong.
Me, because, well, like, what does he actually say?
I'm going to throw the spoiler tag up. I'm going to throw the spoiler tag up so we can actually get into this.
All right. Okay, BioShock Infinite spoilers, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So the game ends, of course, with, Elizabeth drowns Booker so that he can never become Comstock. So she basically erases him from ever existing, right?
Well, no. She doesn't erase. She just erases all Bookers from that point on from ever existing.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
except of course for the Bookers that never went to the baptism in the first place.
Yeah.
Hence why the other game's able to happen.
Well, no, the other game happened. Burial at Sea happened.
Wait.
That was a Comstock.
Not that one.
Yeah, he was a Comstock that. Wait, is there a different one?
Not clear why he was able to survive.
Oh, it's because he.
The
But
ending of BioShock Infinite shows a different cutscene of with him with Elizabeth.
yeah, I guess they never really
So,
explained what happened there.
well, it was clear, so it wasn't a total downer of an ending. She killed every Booker who becomes Booker and every Booker who becomes Comstock, but then of course the Bookers who never went to the baptism wouldn't have been affected by that, so they just continue living their lives.
Okay, yeah, that works. But yeah, no, the Booker in BioShock Burial at Sea, he actually wasn't Booker. That was that was a Comstock. That was a Booker that had become a
Yeah.
Comstock in an alternate universe where instead of her pinky getting sliced off in the portal, it was her head. So she died,
Yes.
which basically meant his plans were ruined, and he also was racked with immense guilt over murdering his child. So
I
basically, to
just don't
cope with
see
it,
why he didn't get erased from the timeline.
well, it's because, so to cope with it, he basically went back to being Booker, and he had the Lutesses send him through a portal to Rapture so that he could live a different life, and he, went back to being Booker instead of Comstock. And then basically he was outside of his own universe. So at least my understanding of it is that basically when Elizabeth did what she did, when she killed Booker, it basically destroyed all universes that branched out from that point where where he became Comstock. Since Comstock was not in his own universe when that happened, he was basically protected from it.
But it's a timeline thing. Shouldn't have you just been erased because of time?
It's not time though; it's alternate universes.
It's time.
Well, it is to a point, but it's basically like, okay, think of it this way: you draw it as like branching, like branches coming out, right? Like it branches. So okay, so you start with like a straight line that ends with the baptism, and from there it splits off into Booker and Comstock, and then from there, branches off more and more. Comstock jumped off when Elizabeth drowned Booker. It broke off that tree right at that branch, so everything from then on was destroyed. Comstock,
Yeah, but he resulted from that branch.
yeah, but he jumped off of the branch onto a different tree entirely. So when that branch broke off, he wasn't affected.
Sure, why not?
I mean, yeah, you can definitely, it's a time travel plot, so of course you can break it down to a point where it doesn't make sense, but in the game's logic, that's how it worked.
Okay.
And it made sense to me. But yeah, I mean, that's the rules there. I guess that's the key to writing a good time travel story. You're never going to write one where there's no plot holes at all, or like not, it's like Back to the Future doesn't work because, in real life, if like time travel happens, you know what I mean? Like the plot just wouldn't happen at all.
No.
But
Back to the Future runs on San Dimas time.
yeah, so basically for a good time travel story, you just have to be consistent with your own rules. You have to come up with your own set of rules and be consistent with them. You can't that's when they fall apart, is when you start to double back and say that and start breaking your own rules, and you're unless it's like, I mean, I think Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure does that a bit, but it's a comedy, so they can get away with it.
Yeah, you can do that in a comedy.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anyone says, Endgame's time travel rules make perfect sense, and I'll fight anyone who says they don't.
They do make sense, yeah. I feel like there was somewhere I had some confusion on it, but
I was never confused. I think people are just they're doing this thing where they're now going back and acting like the Marvel movies sucked because the new ones suck. So now they're judging the older ones more harshly. I think it's some attempt to validate, because if it was always stupid, then they don't have to feel bad about the new ones sucking.
yeah, I guess it's like cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, it's cognitive dissonance. It's like they're a Marvel fan, but these Marvel movies suck, so then they can't I don't know. There's some way to reconcile it. They have to convince themselves that they're not a Marvel fan at all.
Yeah. Well, actually, the old Marvel movies were never good.
Yeah.
Endgame is full of plot holes.
I'll admit I got kind of sick of Marvel. Endgame happened at just the right time for me because I got sick of Marvel at that point. Even if the movies that came after Endgame were good, I probably still would not care at all.
Well, I was willing to give it a chance. It's just that they completely screwed it up, and then I was like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, well, it was just more Endgame felt like such a good conclusion to the story, essentially, that it was just like I was happy to break it off there and leave it be.
Yeah,
but of course
everyone was. That's the ultimate irony. If they had just stopped there, then this would have been remembered as one of the most successful experiments in all of filmmaking. But instead, they kept going, and now everyone is sick of it.
Gotta keep milking that cash cow till nothing's left.
Yeah. They're killing the golden goose.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. So let's get back to
What were we talking about?
We were talking about that
Oh, right,
the Reddit
that one
comment.
guy.
Yeah, so let's get back to that
That
while
one.
the spoiler tag's still up. So yeah, I think that's what he's saying is that essentially by the game ending like that, it means that the game basically didn't happen since she erased it from timeline. And then I mean, then if you're taking Barrel into see into account, Elizabeth dies too. Except that's not what happens. Like everything in the game still happened. Like
Yeah.
Booker wouldn't have drowned. Booker
It's a
wouldn't have
big
been erased.
circle.
Yeah, it's a big circle. So it's not that it's not stuff happening in the characters that don't
Well,
exist.
hold on. It's a circle and a line.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Friggin' Bioshock 2 over here.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, it's just the fact that this guy isn't specific at all. The problem is that it doesn't argue anything. It doesn't believe anything.
well, it's,
And it evokes a lot of things. It talks about them, but it doesn't have anything to say about the things it evokes. It's just so non-specific. It's like, what are you talking about?
my interpretation of what he's saying is basically that he didn't like the plot because it didn't try to make some greater commentary, which it's fine. It told a good story, and it's a video game that told a good story, and that's all it really needed to do. But he's mad that it didn't. I guess didn't explore themes more.
Well, what theme? People, okay, look, as writers, when it comes to theme, just stop it. Themes should not be your first thing. The themes will evolve naturally from what you write. Don't start with a theme. That's where we lead. That's where we get all the pretentious garbage where we got friggin' 1,000 Jesuses everywhere. Look, it's Neo. He's Jesus. It's Superman. He's also Jesus. It's Independence Day. There's probably a Jesus in there somewhere.
Where was I going? What was I gonna say next?
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's spoiler tag down now. Yeah, so
I just felt like sharing that.
interesting. All right. Feel like
I'm Mingus, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm Futterman. We're at the 22-minute mark, and we finally introduced ourselves. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty typical.
So yeah, I feel like we've run out of steam on this topic. So what's our next one?
Well, okay. I'd like to bring to your attention a list of things I've composed. Number one, have you noticed that there's a lot of craft singles ads lately?
I don't watch TV, so no.
No, they're not on TV. They're on YouTube.
Oh, I don't get those YouTube ads. You know what I think is happening here?
What?
I think that you've been targeted for craft singles advertising for some reason.
Why?
Well, that's all everything is now. It's targeted advertising. No two people are going to get the same set of ads on YouTube.
But there's an ad campaign, though. There's an ad campaign. It's like this friggin' thing where it's like, here's a bowl of ramen, put a cheese in the middle. It's like, why?
I've heard that's pretty good, though.
But it's like, here's a various food dishes. Put a slice of craft single right in the middle there. Why now? Why after 10, 15 years? I don't know. But here we are.
I guess what I'd say is that they must be running that must be some kind of new ad campaign that Kraft is running, and for some reason you've been something about your browsing has targeted you as someone who will likely buy Kraft singles, and so they're bombarding you with their ad campaign. That's my interpretation of what's happening.
What would I have looked up though?
I really don't know. It can be literally like I have no idea. It's so confusing. I don't understand any of the ads. I actually, on YouTube, I turned off targeted ads for myself.
You can just turn that off?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know how much it actually works. But yeah, if you go into like your profile settings, let me just look it up right now real quick. So yeah, you go into YouTube, you go to your profile, and you go to settings. Private, yeah, it's under privacy. Oh wait, no, it's not. Where is it? Advanced settings? Billing and payments? Nope. Connected apps? Nope. Well, I don't know where it is on computer, but at least on your phone you can find it in there. And there's like a setting you can turn off for targeted ads. But I don't know if it really works. Like I imagine that the internet's always collecting data on you. Everyone has you basically have an internet
not
profile.
Not anymore.
Oh yeah,
not anymore.
Well, now if you have a VPN, ideally, but
I've got NordVPN. Because everyone friggin' says you need one these days.
It doesn't hurt. I'm personally running Surfshark.
We're not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
We're not big enough to be sponsored.
Oh, here's a fun tangent. Have you ever watched Internet Historian on YouTube before?
A few times, yes.
Have you ever watched his second channel where he does the incognito? It's called Incognito Mode. Is his second channel, and he does.
That's my favorite. That's my second favorite song.
Incognito Mode.
Yeah.
I'm a little afraid of what that song would be about.
Right next to Sicko Mode.
Oh, gotcha. Nice.
Uh,
But yeah, no, Internet Historian, he's sponsored by Nord, and the ads he makes for Nord are insanely hilarious, and it's amazing that they keep getting approved. He basically created this character called Nord Man that is just an absolute menace to society, and just, I don't know, go watch a few of his videos, specifically his ads. You could probably even go on YouTube and just find a compilation of his Nord ads, and just do that.
Okay.
It's fun.
Oh, Internet Historian Nordman.
Yeah, there you go. It's amazing.
Cool. All right, guess I'll look that up later.
Yeah. Anyways, so what was that topic we were on? Oh yeah, so for this episode we came up with what, like a series of vignettes
singles.
Essentially?
Something like that. Right now we're talking about craft singles.
Craft
You
singles.
don't know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
so
I
what
don't.
are we going to do?
I don't have much to add to that. Craft singles,
I'm just
they're
confused
tasty.
by this ad campaign. It's like, why are we suddenly pushing for craft single? Why does they need an ad campaign?
Well, I'm
Why
guessing
are you putting craft on everything?
Here's my guess. There's been a bit of a pushback against them recently, I think, just kind of American cheese as a whole, essentially. I think it's been kind of in our culture now where everyone's concerned about healthiness and organic food and crap like that. Things like American cheese that are craft singles specifically that are like not even legally allowed to be called cheese according to the FDA definition. It's probably led to some pushback that's dropped in sales. People probably aren't buying craft singles anymore. They're buying real cheese because it's healthier and such. And so now they're trying to market craft singles in more creative ways. Like, well, it's not just cheese. You can add it to your ramen to make it delicious because, craft singles, because of all the artificial stuff, they melt down beautifully and don't get all clumpy.
I mean, I like craft.
Oh, I like them.
I'll eat it.
I don't personally buy them, though. I like them.
Yeah.
I would eat them.
I haven't had one in a long time.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't. That's probably everyone's. Like, they're probably neutral on it. Either they're neutral on it but don't buy it, or they are actively against it. So they're trying to turn the tables. That's my completely unprofessional opinion on the topic.
Well, I refuse to buy it because of the ad.
Just because you're being aggressively targeted?
Apparently.
Yeah, I've had that same experience where it's like, your product looks interesting, but you are so annoying about how you're selling it that I will never buy it. For me, you know what that probably is for me? Invisalign. Have you ever seen any of the Invisalign ads?
Yes, I have.
They are awful.
It's like, friggin', here's a teacher in a room. You can have Invisalign.
Well, no, it's like the two specifically that come to mind. There's one where there's like a little kid with Invisalign, and they do this like really annoying voiceover where it's like the kid is doing all the voices in the show. So there's like a little girl that's like talks to him.
Invisalign.
And he does like a stupid high-pitched voice for her, and then he says the line, "Don't worry about it, sweetheart," and he says it like 3 times, and it sounds awful. And it makes me want to punch my own teeth out, so I never have to think about using Invisalign.
That's not even the worst ad, though.
It's awful. And then the other one that's even worse is like where it's like they're eating popcorn and she like pulls her Invisalign out and it makes this ungodly sound as she's pulling them off of her teeth. Because that's what they're showing. It's like, oh, you can take them out to eat popcorn. And then the other friend has braces and she just takes a fistful of popcorn and eats it. And it's doing the stupid voiceover thing again where one character gets all the voices for some reason. I don't know. My point is, those ads make me unreasonably angry. I have no idea why, but Invisalign seems like a great product. They look like a good alternative to braces, but I refuse to ever use them because their advertising campaign has pissed me off so viscerally.
You want to know what my product was for that?
What?
It wasn't because it pissed me off. It was because it traumatized me from a young age. Honeycomb cereal.
Oh, God, yeah. No, it's tasty cereal.
I refuse. I said this to my mom multiple times. I never wanted honeycomb because I don't want to turn into the weird badger thing.
That was
They always
weird.
eat the cereal and then they turn into a creepy demon thing.
Yeah, that was a weird...
And it's like, I don't want that to happen to me. Don't ever get the cereal.
That is a weird advertising angle if you really think about it. I think that I don't know. I never made that connection. I guess my brother I think liked the cereal as a kid, so we had it every now and then. And then I think as an adult I've actually bought it a couple of times just for
I
nostalgia.
still won't.
I don't know. It's like I don't think they do those ads anymore. Honeycomb actually tastes pretty good though.
I still refuse to eat it.
I mean, the one problem though. So like you ever heard of Captain Crunch mouth before? It's that thing that happens when you eat Captain Crunch cereal and the roof of your mouth gets scraped to hell because they're
That has never happened to me.
Oh well, it's specifically the Crunch Berries ones because those things are big and coarse.
Oops, all berries.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a thing that happens with Captain Crunch is it'll scrape up your mouth. Well, Honeycomb is worse because it's just as coarse as Captain Crunch, but they're bigger and wider and have more corners to. I mean, not really corners, but.
How are you eating this cereal that you're scraping the roof of your mouth?
This isn't a personal issue. I mean, as a kid, that happened with Captain Crunch back when I was a child and had a tiny mouth. As an adult, it's not really been an issue, but it is one that I've heard other people talk about.
My tiny child mouth.
But yeah, I guess Honeycomb did scrape up my mouth though as a kid.
I mean, the only thing I can think of that's comparable, or I don't know if it's comparable, is when you eat too many Lemon Heads or Sour Patch Kids, and then all the skin on the inside of your mouth starts melting away.
Oh yeah, that hurts.
That happens.
Oh yeah, no. On our movie nights, we would eat Sour Patch Kids, and I remember there was a couple of years I ate so many Sour Patch Kids that my tongue started to actually like bleed a little bit. I think.
Oh yeah, no, don't eat that. You got to space them out and then drink some water in between so that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh, it makes my tongue hurt just thinking about it.
Sour is basically just acid. So.
Oh hey, that reminds me of another product that I won't buy because of the advertising. Trolley Sour Bright Gummy Worms.
Oh yeah, are you talking about the new ones? They're like stop motion, and for some reason,
yeah, those creepy horror, like they're like short
like
horror
with
stop
the
motion.
kids in a closet, and then like the worms get him killed.
There's a couple of those. There's just a couple of those, like the stop motion ones with like monsters or whatever. It's just like those are awesome little like horror shorts, but they're disgusting. They don't make me want to eat gummy worms even a little bit. It makes me actually gag at the thought of eating gummy worms. There's one specifically where it was like.
I like gummy worms.
Something with zombies. I don't even remember exactly, but I just remember it being gross. I think I kind of blocked it out of my memory. So I like gummy worms, but I don't think I'll ever be able to buy the trolley ones again because, I mean, I don't know if I ever bought them before anyways.
I mean, I'll still eat them.
I don't know. I might eat them if they were there, but I won't buy them. The blue and pink one is the
best one.
I don't know. They all tasted the same to me.
Okay, wait. So what's your thoughts then on the clearly inspired by Don Hertzfeldt Pop-Tart campaign where the people keep conspiring to murder the Pop-Tart people? I think they're hilarious, honestly.
Oh, I think those were, I liked those ones. They were funny. Yeah, it's because they were cartoony enough. They weren't done like, they didn't make it graphic or anything, or even all that mean-spirited.
I mean it's pretty, have you watched them recently?
I haven't watched any of the recent ones.
No, they're not. Well, there aren't any recent ones. It's an old ad campaign.
Oh.
I'm just saying, I watched a compilation recently of all of those ads, and it's like, oh my god,
yeah,
these people are sadistic.
A few of them were pushing the envelope a little bit. Oh yeah, no, I specifically remember there was one where.
Sorry.
I remember there was one where it was like two Pop-Tarts give birth to a baby Pop-Tart, right?
Oh, and what do you know?
And then was that the one you were going to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah, the doctor eats their baby and then doesn't like the mom say like, "Oh, jam it" or something, which is obviously just
they're looking at the baby through the baby window, and then the doctor gets in, and then they're like, "No!" And then I think the jam it might be a different ad.
I might be combining two of them, but that one also is like it's like if you mishear that, it just straight up sounds like you're saying "damn it."
Well, okay, I like that you're focused on that and not the fact that he's eating their child in front of them.
Oh yeah, that one was just horrifying. That one,
they're helpless.
I'm surprised that one didn't get a little. I don't know. Maybe that one did get backlash.
Well, you see, it's Pop-Tarts, so it's hilarious because they're food people.
I guess. Yeah.
And it's clearly inspired by Don Hertzfeldt.
I don't know about that.
The style is so similar.
Kind of, just in that they're stick figures, roughly.
It's just the way they're animated.
Don Hertzfeldts are a lot more like roughly drawn, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I still think they're inspired by it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're at the 35-minute mark. Should we take an ad break?
Wait. Before you take that ad break, I have one more thing to read out.
All right.
The FitnessGram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues.
Ad break.
The 20-meter...
Have you ever heard the sound of a rubber ball breaking a window?
Uh-uh.
Would you like to?
Welcome back.
We'll now begin the push-up section.
Oh, gosh. Dang.
Ready? Begin. Down. Up. 1. Down. Up.
You know,
2.
I think my record on
down,
that was like 4.
Up. 3. Down. Up. 4.
I was out of shape
Down.
as a kid.
Up. 5. Down.
Did you actually
Up.
find the script for that?
6. Down. Up. 7. Down. Up. 8. Down.
How long are you going to keep this
Up.
up?
9. Down.
You know what I was surprised to find though? I
10.
thought that was just something
Down.
I was just kind of thought that was something
Up.
that they maybe
11.
did at our school, but
Down.
then like I think I was on Reddit
Up.
or something.
12. Down.
And I found a thread
Up.
where people were talking
13.
about that. It turns out no,
Down.
that's actually something that's used in a
Up.
lot of schools.
14.
That specific
Down.
pacer test.
Up. 15. Yeah, it's used everywhere. You thought it was just at our school?
Yeah, I mean, I figured that other schools did something similar to that, but I didn't realize that like every school used the exact same tape for it. That's what was surprising to
You
me.
can just find the audio on YouTube now.
Doesn't surprise me.
But it doesn't sound right when it's not coming out of a giant speaker in a really echoey gym.
Yeah, I'd say that's kind of part of the experience.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound right otherwise. You only got 4 on the push-ups? Come on, man.
Probably. I don't remember exactly. Probably more than that. Maybe 10.
10.
I don't know. I was out of shape. You knew me as a kid.
Yes. Well, I mean,
Oh, man.
I wasn't exactly in shape as a child. I'm getting into shape now.
You were in great shape in high school.
Yeah, well, I got into less good shape, but now I'm getting back into shape. I have regular exercise every day at 4:30.
Nice.
Like a half hour running and then 10 minutes of walking, and then I have some weights and I'm just doing that.
Nice. Yeah,
I still have yet to discover if I can beat my father in arm wrestling yet.
Huh.
But one day.
Yeah. All right, what's
I
our
look
next
better.
topic?
I feel better. I'm just taking control of my life and feeling more confident. That's why I use Invisalign braces to
Okay.
really help for me to give that winning smile.
All right, what's our next topic?
When you go out on a date, you know that you're going to have to be great. Invisalign braces
They're
for
not
5
braces, though.
payments of $19.95 plus shipping and handling. But wait, order now and we'll give you a second one just for free. Only pay processing fees. It'll come with a box of AIDS diet chocolate from the 1970s.
Oh yeah, that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before AIDS was a thing.
Yeah, I love that people now, they look at it and they're like, why would they name it AIDS? And it's like, you know that this
AIDS
predated
wasn't-
the disease, right?
It's just like there's a TV show. It's a cartoon. It's an adult cartoon called Archer. You've probably heard of it.
Uh-huh.
But the agency he works for in that show is called ISIS.
Yep.
And yeah, but yeah.
And then the real ISIS happened.
Yeah, then the real ISIS happened. I don't know. Maybe they changed the name in the show after that.
I think they did, but I don't
I
watch
imagine.
Archer.
I don't either. I hate that show.
Why do you hate it?
Because
I just don't watch it. Why do you hate it?
Well, okay, I watched like part of the. I mean, I guess I didn't really give it a very fair chance. I watched like part of the first episode, and I've seen a few various clips on like YouTube. But the gist of it to me is that Archer's a dick, and that's the only joke. It's the whole show is basically just Archer being a dick.
Are you sure though? How much did you watch?
Not a
Maybe
lot.
He developed.
Not a lot. Enough that I know I personally. Maybe it's a good show objectively, but I personally don't think I'll enjoy the show because Archer's character was entirely unbearable to me, and he's the main character. So maybe
I
it
don't
gets
want to
better.
watch it because put up the spoiler tag.
Spoiler tags up. Why?
I don't want to watch it because apparently in one season he gets like knocked out, and then the next 3 seasons are literally just Elseworlds dreams while he's in a coma, and it's literally 3 full seasons of completely non-canon like period piece thing. Like he's in a noir, then he's in the future or something, and then there's like a third one, and then like 3 or 4 seasons later he finally wakes up out of his coma, and the plot continues.
That actually sounds kind of awesome, though. Honestly,
No, are you kidding? Pausing the actual plot for like 5 years?
I don't think that show is one that people watch for the plot.
It has a plot, though.
Yeah, but I don't know. Okay, what was the actual fan reaction to that? Did people like the Elseworlds episodes, or were they annoyed by them?
They got sick of it after a while.
Oh, okay. I
Because
don't know.
eventually it's just like, can we just get on with it, please? We're doing another Dream season, really?
Yeah, well, like I said, I personally don't think I'll ever really enjoy the show. So, anyway, spoiler tag coming down.
Now, give me 1 second. Well, in the name of advertising, I take a sip of this Clear American brand cherry limeade flavored sparkling water.
Yeah, and I'm just drinking water out of my hydro flask.
Delicious.
It's not delicious. So so you know like how if your sink is set to hot and then you switch it to cold, it takes a second to cool down.
Yeah.
Well, I started filling my water bottle too soon, right? Like I switched it to cold, turned it on, waited a second, then started filling it. I didn't wait long enough, so like my water bottle is full of like lukewarm water.
Oh, even better.
And it's like it's like lukewarm, and since it's one of those aluminum bottles, it's like it keeps it at that temperature for a long time. So it's not like I can even just wait for it to cool down to room temperature and it'll be fine. It's like I'm stuck with my grossly lukewarm water until I get off my lazy ass and go refill it. But
well, you know what the Bible says? Even God was like, lukewarm water, be nasty. I cast thee out into somewhere.
Wine. That's why he made it.
Jesus.
That's why he turned it into wine, because
he said that. I'm paraphrasing, but at some point he said something along the lines of, "This is disgusting. Better if you were hot or cold. I don't want this."
Yeah.
That's just a little piece of scripture for you. We're a Christian podcast here.
Yes, we are. Obviously.
It's well established at this point.
All right. What's the next?
What was I just thinking about? I don't know. Honestly, I was just wondering if this should just be the ad episode.
The ad episode?
I feel like there's more ads we could talk about. We already spent half of it talking about ads.
Sure, let's go. I mean, we've had a few other topics as well, but let's go.
I had a couple other, yeah. I guess that'll just be a different day.
Well, no, I mean, we've already talked about, we talked about Bioshock Infinite and stuff. But yeah, then it's mostly been ads. So yeah, let's just keep going on ads. That works. All right. What ad comes to mind for you next?
Well, immediately it's the Chester Cheetah undercover ads, which I guess just recently discovered.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw this one. I feel like I saw some of those when they were actually on TV, but I don't remember them.
I did. I played the video game on the website. I participated in the ARG.
Yeah, I sure didn't do that.
No, do you know how far it went?
How far?
Well, do you remember how active my imagination... Well, I mean, it still is, but do you remember how little impulse control I had in elementary school?
Yeah.
Well, you see, upon seeing that, I decided I would have to find the secret mastermind of who's trying to steal the Chester Cheetos, and then me and some of my cronies eventually decided that it was this one girl, so we harassed her for a while.
What?
Well, not really harassed her. We just decided that she was the mastermind, and then we basically just played tag the whole period.
Oh, gotcha. Was she, part of it? Was she in...
I don't know.
Was she in on the game?
I don't really remember.
Oh, all right then.
That was one of those, stupid second grader things where you just kind of chase people around, and then you don't even think about maybe they don't want to be chased around.
Yeah, I'm sure we've all been there.
Yeah, no, I know I've been there at least a few times.
But why was she the mastermind?
I don't remember. I remember I investigated it and somehow I came to that conclusion. I don't remember how I came to that conclusion, but I was convinced of it. Yes, clearly this random girl at my playground is the mastermind who stole the Cheetos recipe. We got to get it back from her.
Yeah, well, there was I guess
I took things too seriously.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I think was the Cartoon Land story on this podcast.
Yes, that was.
Yeah, everyone's aware then. I got lost in fantasy a lot.
It's pretty awesome though. Makes for a fun childhood.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, I think about my childhood stories, and it's like, wow, I have no interesting stories. Everyone else has all these, I went on a canoe trip in the woods, and the canoe tipped over, and we went down the river. And it's like, I didn't wear jeans.
I don't know anyone with that kind of story, actually. I mean, I think the Cartoon Lane one's pretty interesting.
I don't know. Everyone else did stuff. I kept to myself mostly.
I mean, Didn't you like go to Disneyland as a child or anything like that?
But it's not a story. I went to Disneyland once.
That's
There's
a
no story.
I don't know.
I'm like friggin' Ben in Parks and Rec. One time we were in a canoe and it almost tipped over, but then it didn't. I had a very uneventful childhood. Well, I guess mine was very eventful. It's just none of them are like stories.
Well, it just depends on how you tell it. Honestly, that's what makes a difference, is that some people are just better at telling stories. You know.
I don't know how well I am at telling stories. I'm more good at just rambling on about something. I don't know if that's a skill or not.
It can be. Depends.
As a child, I was bullied a lot. Next question.
Oh yeah, so I guess the ad campaign, there was one of those that I actually participated in as a kid, like an advertising thing. For me, it was Bionicle, of course. Do you remember when they did the? So it was during the, what year was that? Like 2007, I want to say was the year they did, 2006, 2007.
Was that the year of Gadunka?
No, it was the line before that. So that was part of the Mari line, and before the that was like part of the Paraka and the Mari, or not Paraka, the Baraki and the Mari.
The Baraki Obamas.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm sure I'm the first person to ever make that joke.
Probably. Oh, here we go. 2006 was when it started. Yeah. So this was in 2006. So
how do you spell Baraki really quickly?
I want to say it's Barraki. Yeah. Baraki.
AKI. Okay, so really quickly, I just want to see if I look up Baraki Obama, if I get a pic. Yes! That's exactly what I was hoping for. It's a picture of a Bionicle with Barack Obama's face photoshopped onto the head.
Oh my gosh.
That is exactly what I was hoping I would find.
There's more than one of them. They did. Oh, actually, here we go. There's one where they put his face on the red one, which is Kalma. There's one where they put his face onto Karapar, which is the brown one. And then there's one where they put Kalma's face onto Obama. Oh my God! And then to the right of that is Barack Obama, and it's his face on a Barack.
That's exactly what I was hoping I would find. So,
I think Barack Obama is actually even better.
The one where it's just with his arms crossed with a big Bionicle head.
No, to the right of that one. Barack Obama.
Oh, this one. This one is I see your Barack Obama and raise you Baraki Obama.
Oh, gotcha.
Same deal.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Barack Obama. Okay, so what's better, Barack Obama or Baraki Obama? The same format.
I think Barack Obama is better.
The brown one.
Yeah.
With the green.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Well, just because the name works so much better. But yeah, so it was the line before that. The line before that was the Anika and the Paraka. Do you remember that?
Are the Paraka the water guys?
No, that was still the Baraki.
Who's the Paraka? The Paraka? No, those are the Viscerac.
Those are the spiders. Yeah.
I know.
The Paraka were the guys with the big teeth.
Oh, you mean the guys that I thought were bootlegs but turned out were real?
Yeah, they're canon.
I thought they were I thought they were the equivalent of like Mega Bloks to Lego.
Oh yeah, no, that's canon. That's the line that came directly after the Toa Metru line. They came out with the Paraka, and then they came out with the Anika to fight the Paraka.
Yeah, but I had a Gadunka.
Yeah, Gadunka was actually, he was part of the the Baraki line, so he was the line that came after that. But Gadunka was not actually even a Baraki, really. He was I think he was just he was a Rahi that was mutated by the Mask of Life. So Gadunka was actually
he's like a big creature, right?
Yeah, he was like a big creature, but he was actually tiny. Like Gadunka was originally like a tiny little creature, but he came into contact with the Mask of Life, and it mutated him into what he was.
Yeah, and Gadunka was awesome.
I want to say that's what it was.
And he was blue, so obviously.
I'm gonna double check that. Gadunka. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I was right. He is a Rahi. Was once a tiny Rahi who was enlarged by the Ignika. Yeah, the Ignika is the Mask of Life. So I was totally right. I was spot on.
Yeah. You had the blue squids, and I tried to get it from you, and you wouldn't give it to me.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, because I traded
years
with
later in a gesture of friendship, you gave me one.
Did I really?
And yeah. It was when you were at your old house in like high school, I think. And I saw the blue one again. And I was like, oh gosh, remember these things? They're like, yeah, you can have one. And I'm like, wait, really? It's still in my display case.
Oh wow, I totally forgot about. Yeah, no, I guess I do remember that now. That's funny. Yeah, because so yeah, what happened there was so yeah, the Baraki, which
I wasn't an entitled child, so it's no, I don't blame you.
well, no, yeah, sure, I'll tell the full story. It's kind of funny, I think, but yeah, so. The thing about it, so in retrospect, I think the Baraki, so from the Toa Metru on, they always came up with some kind of gimmick for the Bionicles where they could shoot something.
Yeah.
So it's like, the Toa Metru had like the disc launchers, the Viscerac had the spinners, and then
the Paraki had those ball launcher things.
yeah, the Paraka had the ball launchers. Well, in retrospect, I think the Barakis was the most lame because they basically just had these things that kind of look like crossbows, and the ammo for them was these little squids. But the way you shot the squid was that you just put it in there and like stretched it back and let it go like a rubber band. It didn't work that well. And the Mari, they had like these weird like cannon things, like a revolver cannon looking thing. That also didn't work very well. So.
Did it shoot the little, like, the red peg darts?
Yeah, it did, but it didn't work very well. You had to, like, pump it a lot to actually build enough pressure to launch one. So, in practice, didn't work all that well. But yeah, basically, I went to Fred Meyer one day, went through the Lego section. I found a little package, like, they used to sell, like, these little, like, booster packs, I guess you could call them, of, like, ammo or masks, stuff like that. They had one that was just a package of, like, I don't know, like 10 blue versions of the squid. I thought they were cool because I'd only ever seen the yellow and orange ones that you get in the sets. So I bought the blue ones.
Yep.
And then
here it is, Bionicle squid ammo.
Yeah, there you go.
It looks like 7 pieces.
Oh, there you go. It came with 7 of them. But yeah,
7 squids of power.
But yeah, I had a few of those. But yeah, then me and what do we call him? Band Boy? What name did we come up with?
Probably Band Boy.
Whatever, you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, me and him would trade Bionicle parts at recess sometimes. Like we would trade masks or stuff, like I don't know, something we started doing.
The recess economy, I remember that.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. It was just like me and him realized like we each had gotten certain sets that the other person wanted. So like he had masks that I wanted. I had masks that he wanted and such. So we started trading parts. And then I don't remember what I traded. He traded me something for a couple of the blue squids, I think.
I'll give you my Makuta.
I think he gave me a mask.
Blue squids.
I'm pretty sure he gave me a mask. I don't remember which one, but he gave me a mask and I gave him a blue squid. You were there to witness that transaction. You decided you also wanted a blue squid.
Well, yeah, because it was awesome. I only had the yellow squids and blue was my favorite color. And it's like there's blue squids. I love squishy things that are also blue. Anyways.
But yeah, basically you said you wanted one too, and I told you like I only had a few of them because there wasn't much in the pack, so I didn't really want to trade any more of them. So I think I told you that, or I think what I told you was that like if you want one, you got to trade for it, like Band Boy did, or something like that. I told you. I think what I told you is I'd be willing to give one to you if you trade me something for it. And so then you went home, and the next day you came back and you offered me. The trade you had come up with was one of the Ratuka discs, which was basically just the spinners that like the Viscerac had. I had like 20 of those. It was just a standard gray one.
Yeah.
And I told you I didn't really want that one. Your reasoning was that it was a fair trade because it was one ammo, like it was basically one ammo piece for another ammo piece.
Mm-hmm. you want to know something? When you said that I brought the disc, my immediate thought was, well, yeah, probably because one ammo for one ammo.
Yeah.
So
like I see where your logic was.
That's probably exactly what I thought.
Yeah, so there is definitely like I saw where your logic was, and to be fair, there are versions of the disc I probably would have traded you for. They had like various colored discs, but you brought me just one of the standard gray ones that came in every set that I already had a lot of. So obviously I wasn't interested in trading my rare blue squid for one. So yeah,
I didn't have other discs.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't Bionicle rich, unlike some people.
I mean, I just spent all my allowance money on it. Yeah. But yeah.
Was there more to that?
Nope, that was kind of the whole story.
Neat.
And then I guess I finally once we became friends years later, I gave you the blue squid finally as a symbol of friendship, I guess. Which is a very wholesome ending to that story, I think.
Yep. Years later. The blue squid.
Oh yeah, this all started with me talking about that Bionicle ad campaign, though.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, this is all just to give context of when the Paraka came out. So yeah, the Paraka came out before the squid stuff. But they did an advertising campaign, right, where they had a. Do you remember they had the commercial for the Toa Nika that had the song "Move Along" by All American Rejects playing? Do you remember that one?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, well,
No.
just look up Toa Nika commercial and you'll find it. But basically, that commercial is the reason that All American Rejects became my favorite band for a long time. And I still listen to them, so. But basically, they did that in like an advertising thing, but in like the Lego magazine and in like the commercials where it was called Save the Band, I think, or Rescue the Band or something. But essentially the story was, I mean, obviously this is non-canon to the actual Bionicle lore, because I know where you're going to go with this. But essentially the Paraka captured the All-American Rejects and they left a bunch of clues, or like you had to like follow a bunch of clues to find them. And like you could win by, like, if you won, you got to actually like meet the band in real life and get like a bunch of exclusive merch. So it was a pretty cool contest, and I really wanted to win it. So I actually participated. Like I went online and like I bought the sets and stuff, and then like you could go online and enter your codes, I think, or something. And I remember there was like a game you'd play. I didn't get very far. I couldn't figure it out. Someone else won the contest, obviously. But
Well, yeah, someone always wins those. It's just never you.
exactly. But yeah, that was my experience.
Huh.
Yeah, it was funny. But yeah, it's weird. It was a Bionicle campaign that used a real life rock band.
So that's non-canon.
Yeah,
then.
no, that's non-canon. The All American Rejects do not exist in the Bionicle canon.
Are we sure about that? Because clearly we saw it. We saw them existing in the same universe.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up. Bionicle Save the Band. I want to say it took place in like an alternate universe or something. Save the Band. Let's see. Ow. Free the Band. That's what it was called. Yeah, here we go. Free the Band was a non-canon real-life advertising campaign that started in mid-2006 featuring the Paraka and the newly released Toa Nika. The campaign featured an American alternative rock band, the All American Rejects, who had been kidnapped by the Paraka in the efforts of the Toa Nika to free them.
Huh.
So yeah, there you go.
All right. But how do we know that's a trusted source of information?
This is the Bionicle Wiki.
Well, you don't know that. Maybe it's the fake Bionicle Wiki. It could be canon. We don't know. We have no way of knowing. I mean, all I know is that we have video footage of the band in the same time as Bionicle.
Yeah, I don't know. But then I do remember there was
clearly.
I remember after the contest was over, they had they released another video of them like interviewing the band afterwards and asking like if they're okay, and they're talking about how awesome it was being with how awesome the Paraka was, because there was like they were basically party animals just like All American Rejects. So
The Paraka are?
Yeah, the Paraka.
What makes the Paraka party animals?
They're just slobs, basically. I don't know. Like in all, every time you see them in the commercials or how they're portrayed, they're always like clumsy and like messy. Their hideout is like littered with garbage usually. I don't know.
Oh, the Paraka?
Yeah.
You might be unlocking some memories of some old CGI ads.
I am, yeah, for sure.
What was the other one? This just reminded me of something, but I'm trying to remember what it was. This Paraka.
Don't know how to help you with that.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Was it related to Bionicle?
No, it's a similar concept somehow. The capture. Oh no, I just remembered it. The coming out of your shell of their shells tour. I don't know if that really counts as an ad campaign, but it exists and it's awful.
Oh right, it was a musical tour by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah, essentially. You know how they treat the Muppets? They did that with the Ninja Turtles, but they used terrible puppets, and it's also a music band. So, you can already see the wheels of genius turning on that idea.
Huh.
Yeah, have you seen pictures of what it looks like?
I think so.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like you can look at video footage. It was like this. This is unequivocally. This is like if you kind of know about Ninja Turtles, then you know that the worst thing is the next mutation. But if you're super into Ninja Turtles, you know that the actual worst thing is the coming out of their shells tour.
Oh yeah, so yeah, the costumes they used, they kind of look like the ones. It's like similar, same style
They're
as the
worse
ones they
than the
used in the
ones in
movies.
TMNT 3.
Well, it's like
No.
it's like the same style
have-
as the costumes they used in the movies, but it's like they look cheaper. They have way more clothes on, and the heads don't appear to move.
Well, it's like this. They had a really good studio for the first two movies, but then the third movie was the one where they ran out of budget, so they had a different puppet studio. So you had these really cheap, crappy costumes, and then the ones for coming out of the shells were even worse. And because it was live performance, they couldn't even be disguised by editing. So you have very awkward video footage of people like going to these events and then being very clearly uncomfortable and disinterested in the entire spectacle. And it's just like it really is just pure cringe the whole way through. Like it's hard to watch.
Have you actually watched all of it?
I've watched clips. I don't want to watch the whole thing. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think I need to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I was curious if you were dedicated enough of a fan that you were watch the whole thing.
I'm a dedicated enough fan because I know about it in the first place. I don't need to go any further.
Hey, just out of curiosity, you've probably told me before, but how did you become a fan of Ninja Turtles?
Well, it's like this. Back in 2003, when I was but a young lad, I watched the TMNT cartoon that was on at the time. Of course, being a young child, you couldn't really get into things in the same way because you don't think about it much once it's not even on the TV anymore. So years pass, 2012 show comes out, and then I use. Let's be honest, I'll admit it here. I liked watching it with my brother, but I was using the fact that I was watching it as my younger brother as my excuse for watching it. Because it's like, oh yeah, I'm just watching it with a person. We might want to.
Don't worry about it. I'll cover it.
But anyways, I was watching that. But like, let's be honest, I was watching because I thought it was awesome. And I had not yet gotten. I had not yet gotten to the point where I was just unabashedly like, I'm gonna watch whatever the heck I want to, and I don't care how weird people think it is. Who cares?
And now we watch Centaur
and now I've
World.
seen Centaur World.
Yeah, now we watch
Yep.
Centaur World without shame.
Yeah, well, no, there's no shame. There's no shame for Centaur World.
It's a hard one to recommend, though.
I don't know. I recommended it to you.
Oh yeah, but like there's a
So
level.
I kind of want. If anyone else had recommended it, would you have taken it seriously? Is the thing.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It's like I don't know that I would have. Like you know me well enough that you know what shows I like, and I know you've got like good taste in shows. So it's like when you recommended a show, I took it seriously. But like if any random person had told me to watch that, I really don't know if I would have taken them up on it. Like since then I've like even told my brother about it and told him he should watch it because I know he would love that show just because I know of the other shows he likes. So I know he would love that show, but I don't think he's watched it yet. I'm sure a big part of it is that it's called Centaur World, and at first glance,
And it looks
like kitty garbage.
well, especially because they rated it TVY7, which I'm still mystified about.
Yeah, how?
It's like, how did this not at least get a TV PG?
I don't know that I would let a 7-year-old watch some of that. Some of it's pretty graphic.
Honestly, no. Honestly, I'm like, I don't think the show is appropriate for a 7-year-old, both thematically and in terms of content.
Yeah, like the ending, I don't know. I mean, kids are more resilient than we give them credit for, but the ending, like, really could probably would have traumatized me as a kid. A lot of that stuff that happened at the very end, I was a fragile child.
It's like, I don't even know. It's like, I know that we give kids credit, but like, I really do think that the themes in that show really are probably beyond what most kids of that apparent age group are probably going to be able to fully appreciate.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of it would just go over their head.
Really would just be better. You really would just be better waiting until you're older.
Well, exactly. It's like I don't know that a kid would enjoy that show on the same level, just because there are some pretty intense themes that just kind of like would go right over their head. But I mean, there's plenty there for a kid to enjoy too. It's like,
yeah.
But either way,
I don't know. Same situation though. I did not watch Gumball, and then you come in and are like, hey, Gumball's actually really, really good. And I'm like, well, if he's saying it's good, then I gotta check it out.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's because
as it turns out.
Yeah, it's almost like the Star Wars Rebel thing you said, where it's like, what was that, the quote? Like, I hated Star Wars Rebels until I actually watched it. I don't remember who said that, but
I don't know. I think I found it in a comment
Yeah, I
one
think it was like a
time.
YouTube comment or something. But it was the same story with Gumball. I think you and I both pretty unanimously hated that show just as a concept because it was kind of during that era where Cartoon Network was doing some really weird shows and some really
Yeah.
stupid shows, and we thought that Gumball was just one of those.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's just a bunch of random crap pushed together. There's no point watching this.
Yeah, and it's funny. The
But-
way I actually ended up seeing it, my family was on vacation. We had rented like a beach house somewhere, and that beach house had TV. We don't have TV at home, so me and my brother would watch TV while we were hanging out at the house. We went to Cartoon Network, and Gumball was on, and we just happened, in the episode that just happened to be on was The Choices.
Oh, what a good start for you.
Yeah. And yeah, so I watched that, and it's like, wow, this is actually like deep, surprisingly deep, and actually funny. And then we watched more of it while we were there, and then yeah, I think I came back from that trip and pretty much immediately told you to watch it.
Yep.
Yep, it's a good show.
Then somehow I got through it before you did.
Yeah, because I'm slow. I have a problem where I get partway through a show and then I like run out of time to watch it and then just like forget to go back to it. Like I still haven't finished Cowboy Bebop.
Bebop yet?
Nope.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm trying to. Well, it's because now I'm at this weird point where it's like I'm trying to follow your recommendation and watch it in order. So I watched the first 22 episodes, then I wanted to watch the movie before I finished the series. But I started to watch the movie with my wife because she was interested in it too, but she has a bad habit of never sitting down to actually watch a movie. Like she'll start a movie and then have to get up and do something and we'll have to pause it, or like she'll get tired and we can't finish it. Basically, we got through the first like 10 minutes of the movie, then she had to get up and go do something, and then I think she fell asleep. And so we ran out of time to watch it. But it's like now I know she's interested in watching it. I would like to watch it with her, but we've had a really hard time finding a chance where we can both sit down and watch a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, well, that's always the danger of watching things with people is that you have to wait for them to have schedule time.
Exactly. That's why I've never finished a show. Me and her, we've never finished a show that we've started for that exact reason. Except Daredevil. We actually managed to finish Daredevil, but that was because we were watching it during the pandemic when there wasn't a lot else to do. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's
no, because if you watch the movie after the show, it's gonna feel weird.
Yeah, I'm
Trust
assuming
me.
something happens at the end. I don't know what, but yeah.
Well, let's just say there's a reason that the movie is chronologically before the end of the show.
Yeah. Well,
it would be jarring to say the least.
yeah. So yeah, I'll get around to watching it. Maybe this weekend we'll finally find time to sit down and watch it, or I'll just give up and watch it without her. I don't know. But yeah.
Eh.
All right. What else? We got anything else to talk about? We're at the 1 hour mark.
Oh, we are?
Yeah,
That was quick. That always seems to happen.
that does. I don't know. We got anything else to talk about?
Well, I mean, sure, but like, what do you want to talk about? Do we have any other ads, or did you just think of something in the midst of us talking about weird shows that are actually really good, but only if certain people recommend them?
I mean, I think I've taken that topic to its. I don't think I've got anything else to say on that topic, and I think I finished saying everything I was going to say about the free the band thing.
Also, We Bare Bears, that one too.
Yeah.
I didn't think that show would be as good as it was.
Wait, did I recommend that one to you?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I did. That was another one that you finished for. I'm sad about that. I still haven't actually gotten to finish that one because they took it off of Netflix before I was able to watch the last couple episodes. So there's like.
Oh man, if only there was a way to watch.
I wanted
things.
to, but I didn't feel like dropping like the $80 it would cost to get all of it on physical media.
What? No, not physical dude.
Oh, well, I also don't.
There are places on the internet.
I don't want to pirate
won't
that
give
show.
you-
I have more respect for
You
the
don't have
creators
to
than that.
No, you don't have to pirate it. I'm just saying you won't get a computer virus.
Either way,
Yeah.
let me see. Where can I watch
No,
it? I'm pretty sure it got taken
they
down
made
because. Yeah, I got put on HBO Max. Wait, I have HBO Max now. Kind of.
Hey.
Kind of. Our roommate's boyfriend logged into it onto our TV and told us we could use it. So as long as it's still logged in onto our TV, I should be able to watch it. In theory.
You got to get the login information.
I think it's already on our TV. Oh, wait a
The
minute. It says
login
it's on-
information?
Yeah, it just saves your TV as long as it didn't get erased.
Excellent.
Wait, how many seasons? There's 4
Yeah, no,
seasons,
but-
right?
Yeah, 4 seasons and a movie.
Yeah, which I need to watch the movie too.
Yeah, the movie is the ending. Don't watch the movie first. Of course, it's one of those finales that like where it's like it's a big event, so it's like this is a send off, but it doesn't really like feel like it concludes any specific narrative arcs. It more just feels like a send off in the sense of this is the last big hurrah.
Except now they're doing the Baby Bears show, right?
I don't want to watch the Baby Bear show.
Doesn't look good.
Because, at first when they announced... Well, it's just when they announced it, they were like, we're going to do a Baby Bears spinoff. And then I was thinking, oh, okay, so you're just going to do the Baby Bears episodes, but for the whole show? But then, no, instead, they've completely changed the format and the art style, and Baby Ice Bear talks now, and it's like, oh...
What? Why does Baby Ice Bear talk?
I don't know. But bottom line is it's like it's just done in a different, like, it's anime-esque, okay? And I don't have a problem with anime-esque. I just don't think this show needed to be that. I mean, the synopsis is literally three brothers go around in their magic box having adventures, and I'm like, I thought it was just going to be the baby different thing, and I don't understand why. But, that's where we are. Anyways.
Yeah, what else we got to talk about?
It seems like we're just kind of reaching the end of this session.
I think so.
Might honestly just be time to move on with our nights.
You're making it sound more tragic than it is.
Wait, why?
I don't know.
What about what I said was tragic?
Oh, just more your tone. Don't worry about it. But yeah, sorry, I'm distracted. I'm still looking at where I can watch this.
Well, it's time to move on. Go back to our sad, lonely existences.
Yeah, this is what I hate. They took it off of Netflix because I guess now HBO Max has the rights or whatever. And I that's what I absolutely hate about
streaming.
Yeah, just streaming services. It's like the problem you said where we've basically come full circle now where it's like there's as many streaming services as channels.
Yeah. Everything's differentiating. And now it's all spread out again. And now, the whole point of streaming was like, hey, everything's in one spot. You don't have to buy a bunch of channels that you don't want. But not anymore. Now it's been spread out again, and there's no DVDs. So, we've only lost things in the long run. Because streaming originals very rarely seem to get DVD releases.
Yeah, which I guess that makes sense. It's your incentive to buy their streaming service. So if they gave you a physical copy of it, it'd give people an out. You could just buy The Mandalorian instead of buying Disney Plus.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
Yeah.
They do that, and then it's like, okay, so what happens when the streaming service goes under? Where do all those shows go? They just gone forever?
They go into the Disney
Vault. It's like,
Vault.
oh, sucks for you. You can't watch them anymore. Disney, I hate the Disney Vault.
Yeah,
they keep they treat their film library with such reverence, and then their friggin' shows are just like, whatever, throw them in a vault. Who cares?
Well, I mean, all the movies are on the whatever the thing is now. They're on Disney Plus. Why can't I finish a sentence? Jeez.
Well, Disney Plus is not doing too hot.
It's not?
No. Disney as a whole is not doing too hot. They're having lots of problems.
Yeah.
Most of which are self-inflicted.
Yeah, but I don't know. Oh, well, should we roll the outro?
Nope. Sorry, we've already introduced a new topic. Welcome to the Disney podcast, where we talk about why Disney is having trouble
I don't
and
know.
give opinions that no one asked for.
Bad financial decisions? Is that the issue? Bad
Yeah, essentially.
bad political
Bad
decisions?
financial decisions. Both of those things.
Yeah, I know they got in trouble recently because of something
Yep.
they did. Like,
Basically, they just outright said, we're going to use our power to try and overturn Florida law. And then Florida was like, oh, you are you? And now they've lost the Reedy Creek district, which honestly, I don't think they should have had that to begin with. Like, if you actually look at that, it's absurd.
the what district?
The Reedy Creek thing. So
I
essentially,
think I
it
know
works
what
like
you're
this.
talking about.
Yeah. In Florida, Disney World is essentially its own autonomous government.
Reedy Creek.
Yeah.
Wait, Disney World is its own government? What do you mean by that?
Disney World is basically its own city, and it's an autonomous government. It collects its own taxes. It has its own public services. It's all like self-contained, and it allows them to skirt normal building permits because they're their own government, so they can just do it.
Oh, seriously? What?
Yeah, it was originally because they originally did it because they wanted to get Disney into the state because of the revenue, but now we're here like decades later, and it just sucks.
Huh.
But that's the long and short of it. They overstepped they overstepped, and now they stand to lose everything in the midst of already losing everything else. So things are not going well for them.
Well, I imagine they would start selling off their properties then. That's probably what the next thing would be. So Star Wars would probably
I
get
don't
sold
know,
to
right?
someone else, and The Mandalorian would end up on a different streaming service. Is probably what would
I
happen.
would love if Star Wars got sold to someone else, but at this point, I'm not really sure it can be saved.
Unless whoever took control basically just erased everything Disney made and started from scratch.
Yeah. Yeah, no, honestly, the only way... You don't even have to erase... If you just erase the sequel trilogy, that pretty much fixes most things.
Yeah. I don't know, but then they've...
Like, that's...
A lot of the
That's the
stuff they
only
made
one
is
that
tied
really-
back into the sequel trilogy now, though. So
Yeah. Well, a few things. Mandalorian would be hard to separate. Resistance is impossible to separate, so you'd have to lose that. But Resistance was really mediocre, anyways. So,
yeah, sounds like that need to be
Bad
cut
Batch,
out.
I think Bad Batch is mostly fine. It doesn't tie in enough. It mostly just tie. And I like Rebels, so I would keep Rebels.
Yeah, Rebels is good, but
Basically, if you take Star Wars, The Clone Wars, and Rebels, you have to throw out all of those era of comics. But honestly, I like Star Wars, The Clone Wars better than the old Clone Wars comics. But even not just because of the storytelling, but just because of the sense that like you can watch the whole thing. You can watch movie to show to the rest of the movies and then have a complete story. You don't have to go back and forth between different mediums. You know?
yeah. And I mean, Mandalorian, like, it's pretty clear that it's pretty clear it's tying back into the sequel trilogy, but, you know, at this point, even if they did erase the sequel trilogy, they could just kind of say that, you know, they could just say that Mandalorian's tying back into, you know, or not tying, it could just tie into whatever replaces the sequel trilogy instead. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Maybe.
They've started to make
hard to imagine how they could do that since it's very clearly starting to tie in.
I mean, they've made some clear connections to it, but I still don't think at this point they've made like an irrefutable connection. You know what I mean? Like, really, at this point, I guess I'll just throw up the spoilers tag.
They're pretty close.
Okay, spoilers tag's up.
They've basically...
Even though this is tangentially
they're pretty
related to
close
the sequel
because...
trilogy. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, they already made Luke a douchebag
Kind
in
of,
Book of
yeah.
Boba Fett.
They could still course correct that.
The way he behaves in Book of Boba Fett is basically he forgot all of his character development and is now going back to strictly adhering to the Jedi way, when the whole point of his character arc was that he succeeded because he cast aside what the old Jedi Order used to do. But then Book of Boba Fett has him going right back to that, and we know that inevitably leads to Last Jedi, where he tries to kill his own nephew and then becomes a hermit.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess for me, the only really like concrete connection that we've seen so far is, like that Luke's Jedi school that he was building looks like the one that appeared in The Last Jedi. in the flashback.
Well,
You know,
not looks like it, just is the same one.
well, yeah, it's the stone huts and everything. So it's like it's clear that that's what they're going for. But I mean, at this point, you know,
Yeah.
even if they erase the sequel
And,
trilogy,
you know,
they could just say that, you know, parts of it still happened, but then it led to something else instead.
Yeah. Yeah, and that one time, I was just having a bad day. That, yeah.
Or I don't know, they could still just I don't know.
Well, because they had to get Grogu out of the way because he wasn't in the movies.
Well, you know what the easy fix here is? Keep the Mandalorian, get rid of the
What?
Book of Boba Fett. That show sucked anyways.
You can't though because the Book of Boba Fett basically is Mandalorian season 3.5.
Well, yeah,
2.5. I mean,
they could just redo that
those
part.
three which I still have a problem with because it's like, okay, you've essentially, and now in one fell swoop, you've completely undermined all the storytelling in the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. So I hope you're happy with that.
I don't know. What do you mean they've? I guess what do you mean by
Well,
that?
because they spent all this time building up to him letting go of Grogu and then giving him away, only to immediately undo it.
Yeah, which
And now he's back with.
It doesn't undermine everything. It just kind of it definitely dampens the emotional impact of the ending of season 2. But I mean, it doesn't erase all the character development and like the relationship between those characters.
I mean, it kind of undermines the ending and makes it kind of point. I mean, it's like, hey, okay, warning, Stranger Things spoiler. It's like when they friggin', have this big old drawn out scene of Hopper dying, and then 2 years before the season even comes out, release a teaser that's like, Hopper's alive, everyone, and then just says nothing for 2 years. It's like, what the?
Yeah, that was really stupid.
I mean, come on. It's like, even if everybody was pretty sure you were going to bring him back, you should have at least pretended like it was important, because the way you did it completely undermined the emotional impact that was supposed to have. Because it's like, now he's not even it's like before the season even came out, before there was even a trailer and all the filming had been done. No, here's a teaser, guys. By the way, Hopper's alive. That's the very first thing we're going to tell you. We're not even going to pretend like it's going to be a surprise later. We're not even going to like draw it out. Or like, you hope that he's alive. We're just going to. It's like, well, that was stupid.
Well, your audio started
And I think they took too long to release season 4 also, because I think they've kind of lost their momentum now.
Yeah, I don't really have any interest in season 4 at this point, if I'm honest.
Oh, I do, because I I hate loose ends. Of course I'm going to watch it. What pisses me off is that it took them like 3 years to get it out, which is like Rick and Morty levels of bad. And then not only that, the whole season is done by now, but they're still going to put a month gap in between the first half of the season and the second half of the season.
What? Seriously? Why?
They're going to release because marketing. They're going to release the first 5 episodes, and then there's going to be a month, and then they're going to release the other 4 episodes.
Oh, you know what the real reason
because
for that
they got to
is?
build up the.
Well, it's one, so they can build up the hype, but it's 2, so that someone can't just use the Netflix the free trial to binge the show and then delete their account. Because I mean, I think that's what they did for like that's what they did for like Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Partly, they released it 1 episode at a time, so people actually had to get a subscription to watch it regularly. But then they still had. I mean, I think you can look at the statistics. There was a huge spike in the number of accounts made once the full season was released. Yeah. So I think a lot of people still waited and then binged it on their free trial. But
I feel like that's that's the problem with Disney Plus in general, is that like the whole part of one of the other benefits of streaming is that it's like, oh, it just comes out now, but now it's like, no, now you have to wait a week, and it's like, so again, just like regular television.
Yeah.
Again, we're just slowly removing all the benefits that there ever were.
Yep, and they keep raising the prices. So at this point, you might as well just pay for a TV subscription. Except the quality of shows on TV are getting worse. So.
Oh yeah.
So all the good shows are on streaming now.
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, we said it before. I legitimately remember a time when it's a Netflix original was like a mark of quality. Now it's like, oh, it's a Netflix original. Because like for a while, all of their Netflix originals were like really good shows.
Yeah, but then it became that Netflix just took anything that no one else would. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, because once they started running into the logistical problems of expanding a streaming service year in and year out, so they became desperate for content, and then you got the whole joke over like it's very easy to get something greenlit on Netflix, which isn't true anymore because now things are starting to fall apart over there too. They're not doing so hot. No one is doing hot right now.
Nope. All right. Well, your audio keeps cutting out, so I think that probably that might be our sign to go ahead and roll the outro. Also, we're like at the hour and 20-minute mark.
I can't stay up. I can't be here that much longer anyways because I gotta like make lunch and stuff, and then I can't stay up too late these days.
You're making lunch at 10 o'clock at night?
It's for tomorrow.
Oh, okay, gotcha. You still packing?
I gotta make it ahead
lunch?
of time.
Is it still the same lunch?
Yeah.
Of a sandwich and granola bar and all that?
Apple, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, granola bar, celery sticks, and 3 slices of cheese. The same lunch that I've been eating since forever.
Since high school?
Not even high school. Earlier.
Dang. Don't you get sick of that?
Like elementary school. Dude. Here. Answer me this. Would you describe me as somebody who willingly embraces change or tends to just stick with the same sort of thing?
I mean, obviously, it's the second one.
Yeah. So why do you think I would have ever changed my lunch if I liked it? Because in general, I don't really ever change anything until I have to, or there's a reason to, and I see no reason to change it. So yeah, I've been eating the same lunch, the same pack up lunch, for like many, many years. That's just what I do.
All right.
Anyways, roll the outro.
Cue the music.
Yeah. Do the spiel.
Music's probably too loud.
All right, turn the music down.
All right, there it's marginally better now. Thanks for watching. Send us emails.
Marginally better.
Real placeholder podcast at gmail.com. And the links in the description to the
And then Real Placeholder Podcast Official. You always forget the word official.
Did I forget the official?
Again.
Oh, right. Because it sounds redundant because it's Real Placeholder Podcast Official. So it's like it feels like there needs to be one of those, but not both. But
I did it on purpose.
well, I know. I get it.
Because you know it.
That's why I always forget to put the official in because it's like, well, of course it's the official one. It's the real one. But I mean, I guess I forget it. Just say the thing.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. I want to go to bed anyways. It's over.
Bye.